Good morning. I'm Savannah Sellers. Joe is off this morning. Thanks so much for joining us. We're going to get started this morning with that out-of-this-world solar eclipse that captured the attention and the imagination of the nation. Tens of millions of people gathered for the once-in-a-generation look at a total solar eclipse. The moon came between the Earth and the sun, casting a path of total darkness that extended diagonally across the eastern half of the country from Texas to Maine. Some were brought to tears. Not going to lie, I had a couple tears. Others to laughter and joy as they witnessed this remarkable experience. I took it all in across the street right here at Radio City Music Hall, surrounded by crowds of New Yorkers who paused their day to get a glimpse of the eclipse. We had 89% totality here, but honestly, it was still 100% amazing. Our friend NBC Nightly News anchor Lester Holt traveled right to the path of totality in Indianapolis to get a front row seat to the day turning to night and then back to day again.
It didn't matter where you were. The reactions were the same.
The diamond ring!
Joy, awe, and wonder. A shared experience for millions of people who had a front row seat to history on the horizon.
Just seeing how it got dark, that was an experience that, it's like unforgettable.
I'm glad to be a part of something like this.
People flocked to the path of totality, wider than it was in 2017 and stretching across 15 states from the Pacific to the Atlantic. Our correspondents were spread across it as the moon shadow moved from the southwest to the northeast. Morgan Chesky in his hometown of Kerrville, Texas.
And everyone is in awe right now of this 4 minutes and 24 seconds, which I have to tell you is feeling a little like an eternity right now. The buildup was so strong as we saw the moon slide in front of the sun that when it finally happened, you almost had to pinch yourself.
Soaking up the moment with his family.
Little 10-month-old Eleanor about to get her very first eclipse. I know it's a lot to take in, honey, but Olivia, oh, it's a lot. I know. I wouldn't be anywhere else other than with y'all right now.
There it goes.
In Dallas, Al Roker.
Yeah! Woo! Oh! Yeah! There are the beads! There are the beads! We saw, oh, look at this! Look at this!
And in Maine,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Kate Snow, surrounded by thousands.
I've done this once before, and I got emotional then, and I feel myself getting emotional now. It's just something about it that is so incredibly special. I think it's maybe the commonality that we're all experiencing one thing at the same exact time.
For some, it was about checking something off that bucket list.
I'm from East Africa, and I couldn't believe what I just seen.
For others, it marked a new beginning. Hundreds of couples exchanged vows in Russellville, Arkansas, including Michelle and Randy Weller.
We will always remember our wedding day because of this day.
And despite concerns about the cloudy forecast, the views did not disappoint.
You can see the bottom corner coming out.
I think it's coming out right now.
There you go, right there on the right.
Yep, here it comes.
Pure magic, inviting all of us who paused for a few minutes and simply looked up.
What was the emotion you guys experienced?
It was breathtaking.
We were at the Indianapolis Speedway with more than 50,000 other eclipse chasers.
It's just sliding away. You know, Tom, you and I cover a lot of difficult things to report sometimes, but this is magical.
And as the sky quickly darkened,
I think we're in totality.
we took off our glasses.
Like exciting, happy, like my heart beating is fast.
I am so happy you guys got to experience this. This is so neat.
A special and powerful moment that connected all of us.
My mom always promised me a trip to the moon, so this is as close as we get. 1969, watching the first moon landing together. She made it an event that we would never forget. And this is to her.
Well, she's with you today.
Thank you.
Ooh, see, it gets you emotional. If you missed Monday's solar eclipse or regret that you didn't travel to a spot in the path of totality, Don't worry, here's the deal. You can start planning for next time. Even though there's not going to be another one here in the U.S. for 20 years, several total eclipses are going to take place around the world in the coming years, with that next U.S. one coast to coast. That's August 12th, 2045. So you've got some time to plan. Well, while millions of us witnessed the total solar eclipse from down here on the ground, a lucky few got to see it from 20,000 feet in the air, including one of my best friends, NBC News Now anchor Gotti Schwartz. He takes us up, up, and away.
How lucky are we to have a moon and sun so perfectly aligned that every so often their magical dance allows us to stare straight at the sun for a celestial show like no other.
It turned dark fast and then it turned morning fast.
From the youngest viewers to those waiting for this moment for decades, many were simply overcome by the beauty of total eclipse, while we set out for a different view.
We're going to be flying in formation for a little bit. The plan is that that jet is going to stay on the outside of the edge of totality.
A front row seat to history from above.
All right, so right now we are in full-on totality. Let me see if I can show you. Look! We are, what, about 20,000 feet?
Right. The view's breathtaking.
When you're up here and you see the movement of this shadow. Shadow is very dark on this side, very light on this side.
The team from B-Speed capturing a moon shadow passing over Arkansas.
Look at this. Wow. Now it's like this sunrise, but the sunrise is a color I've never seen before. It is like a deep purple. This is incredible. And what a happy coincidence.
A cosmic wink to all of us that we share this planet, united under our sun.
Super excited. I love hearing the joy behind me with when all of that went down.
It is, it's a life-changing experience.
Gotti Schwartz, NBC News, somewhere over Arkansas.
And Gotti's just as awesome as you would imagine hearing that. We're so happy he got that experience. All right, let's switch gears here. A New York State appeals court judge has denied former President Trump's last-minute attempt to delay the start of his hush money criminal trial, which is scheduled to start next week. The former president's lawyers argued the trial needed to be halted, saying an impartial jury can't be selected in Manhattan. Trump is accused of falsifying business records related to alleged hush money payments made to adult film star Stormy Daniels. The former president has pleaded not guilty to the charges. The judge overseeing the trial has approved a questionnaire for jury selection. Meanwhile, in the race for the White House on Monday, Trump announced on his social media site Truth Social that he thinks abortion laws should be left to the states in the wake of overturning Roe v. Wade. For more on all of this, we are joined now by NBC News correspondent Dasha Burns and NBC News legal analyst Danny Ceballos. Good morning to both of you. I am so sorry that you were not on eclipse duty, and that's not what I'm talking to y'all about. Thank you very much for joining us. So let's get started, Dasha, with you and the hush money criminal case. So the ruling by this appeals court, it impacted Trump's request for a delay, not his change of venue motion. We are still waiting for a ruling on that. Walk us through this decision and what this ultimately could mean for the case going forward.
Well, it means just that, what you said there, Savannah. It is going forward. Former president's lawyers were arguing that because of pretrial publicity that an impartial jury couldn't be selected right now. The judge just denied that delay flat out. One sentence ruling, no explanation. And this is going against what the Trump team has really been trying to do with all of these cases, Savannah, which is just push and delay, delay, delay.
Danny, let's bring you in here. So Trump's attorney also filed a challenge to the gag order in the case. This was in the form of a lawsuit that invokes something called Article 78. What is that? How would that work?
Yeah, I filed Article 78s myself. Basically what they are is they're like a lawsuit that challenges the decision of an agency or a judge. For example, journalists may be familiar with freedom of information requests. And often a government agency will say, no, we're not going to give you those documents. Well, in New York, an Article 78 is a way of challenging what an agency did, a decision it made. And that's exactly what Trump's lawyers are doing here. They filed an Article 78 to challenge the decision of a judge. So that is the mission, but it's going to be really, really difficult because judges have incredible discretion when it comes to these things. So this is a huge long shot at best.
Danny, we also learned last night that special counsel Jack Smith has filed a brief ahead of this month's oral arguments calling on the Supreme Court to reject the former president's presidential immunity claim. So this is a big one here that's kind of they've been using as the sort of spoke to impact a lot of other things or request delays here. What are the broad outlines of this argument?
Yeah, Jack Smith really, in a way, has a decision. Do you challenge the concept of presidential immunity? Do you say it never exists? Or do you really focus on the facts and say, under these facts, what this president did, there should be no immunity? In my view, the stronger case is the second one, because it's dangerous to argue that there is zero presidential immunity after a president leaves office. The simplest example is virtually every president has been involved in some form of military activity, and zero presidents have ever been charged with deaths that occur, whether it be service folks or innocents who are injured or killed in military actions, because it's kind of assumed that presidents have to make those tough decisions and they're not liable for crimes after they leave office for that kind of presidential conduct. So no court has ever come out and really said that explicitly. The challenge here is really determining whether what Trump did under these facts, is he entitled to immunity? And secondly, is that immunity determined before he even goes to trial?
Got it. Dasha, let's bring you back in here and now talk about the former president's comments on social media yesterday regarding abortion. This is big news. He said it should be decided by the states. What else did he have to say on this, and what's the reaction been?
Yes, Savannah, he'd been teasing that announcement for a while. And in this 4-minute video, approximately, he spent a long time talking about his support for IVF, which, as you might remember, in Alabama, a court case there paused IVF treatments for folks across the state because of a ruling from their state Supreme Court. So supporting IVF. But he talked about how he believes this should be left to the states, that different states are going to have different rules. He took credit, once again, for overturning Roe versus Wade. But he left a lot of questions on the table still, namely, what would he do if a federal abortion ban piece of legislation were to come to his desk if he were in the Oval Office? He's also a resident of Florida, which has just recently put in place a 6-week abortion ban and will also put abortion on the ballot in November. And he saw reaction from both sides yesterday. President Biden and the Democrats criticizing him from the left, saying that he would allow draconian policies to continue in many of these states. And from the right, you've got anti-abortion groups that were critical, saying that they were disappointed with his announcement. But he is really sort of trying to say, look, I overturned Roe versus Wade, and now it is in the hands of the states, but not going to be so easy given this is such a hot topic and something that the Democrats have really seen success on in these elections, Savannah.
Yeah, so for voters, Dasha, to watch him not really take a stand definitively one way or the other on the potential of a federal ban, is that kind of saying to voters, you know, trust me, this is what I think I'm going to do, and how do you think that plays?
Well, he said in interviews before, you know, I'm going to do something that's going to make both sides happy. We're going to have consensus on this issue like never before. But it is a really thorny issue, particularly for Republicans right now. I know from my reporting, the former president has really been focused on this issue. He saw those losses in the midterms, and he felt even the candidates that he endorsed in 2022 went too far to the right on this issue. So he's really focused on trying to message this for Republicans in a way that might be more palatable to most voters, given this is an issue we've consistently seen polling on. The vast majority of Americans support abortion rights to a certain extent. But again, it's a tough line to walk for him, given he's got folks on his right and folks in the middle that are not necessarily in the same place on this.
Dasha Burns, Danny Ceballos, thank you both very much. Well, the Biden administration has announced a new attempt to provide federal student loan debt relief to millions of Americans. It's part of an effort to keep a promise he made when he ran for office back in 2020. Well, President Biden outlined the new plan during a trip yesterday to Madison, Wisconsin. The new efforts come nearly a year after the Supreme Court rejected the White House's first attempt to provide relief that would have canceled up to $20,000 for borrowers. The president says the relief will be a boost for the economy.
I will never stop to deliver student debt relief on hardworking Americans, and it's only in the interest of America that we do it. And again, it's for the good of our economy that's growing stronger and stronger, and it is. By freeing millions of Americans from this crushing debt of student debt, it means they can finally get on with their lives.
NBC News senior White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez joins us this morning with more. Hey, Gabe, good to see you. So walk us through the highlights of the White House's new effort here to tackle student debt. Who's most likely to benefit from this plan, and is it expected that this will be challenged?
Hi there, Savannah. Good morning. Well, it is expected to be challenged. And as you said, though, the White House believes that this will impact millions of Americans. And there are several targeted groups. Let's walk through those right now. Among them, borrowers who are experiencing hardships like child care costs, but also borrowers, and this is probably the largest group, those who have seen their interest balloon over the last several years. They can have up to $20,000 forgiven. There are also people that have been paying undergraduate loans for more than 20 years, also graduate loans for more than 25 years. They're also eligible. Now, these are all more targeted groups than the Biden administration tried the last time. You mentioned when the Supreme Court blocked it. President Biden, as you said, was in Madison yesterday talking about this. Let's listen to some of that.
Tens of millions of people's debt was literally about to get canceled. But then some of my Republican friends and elected officials and special interests sued us, and the Supreme Court blocked us. But that didn't stop us. I've been pushing this, and if I'm reelected, I'm going to push it hard. We're going to get it done next time, is I want to make community college tuition free.
Now, some of the details of this plan have yet to be finalized, but the White House says that they plan to implement it by this fall, just in time for the November election, Savannah.
Yes, so, Gabe, how is the Biden administration looking to push forward with this plan, despite that opposition that the plan received back in the first place, back in 2022? You mentioned it is expected to be challenged. How does he move through that? How does he continue to try to make this a political selling point, knowing that that's coming?
Well, the White House is trying a different legal justification here. When the Supreme Court blocked the previous plan last summer, they said that the Biden administration did not have the proper authority, and that was because the administration was using the HEROES Act, which was passed in the wake of 9/11. This is a more targeted approach. It's not as broad as the plan that the administration had put forward before, and so the White House is using the Higher Education Act, which was passed in the mid-'60s, which gives the Education Secretary broad powers when it comes to student debt. So that's how the White House plans to fight back against critics who say that, look, taxpayers should not be footing the bill for people who went to college and racked up all this debt, Savannah.
Gabe, so as we've been discussing, President Biden is looking to, do this, provide this relief ball, of course, also attempting to drum up this support from young voters ahead of the election, even from older voters who might still have some of that student debt sticking around. That is a super important group when it comes to younger voters, part of the coalition that helped him win the White House in the first place. How much of their support does he have now, and how impactful is an initiative like this anticipated to be?
Yeah, Savannah, it's pretty remarkable according to the latest polls, and it is no coincidence that the White House is racing to implement this before the November election. But according to 2020 exit polls by NBC News, President Biden was well ahead of Donald Trump, was ahead by 24 points among voters under 30 years old. But that support has been dropping recently in the last several months, partly because young voters have sharply criticized his handling of the Israel-Hamas war. One of the latest polls, a Fox News poll last month, actually had former President Trump up by 18 points among voters under 30 years old. So pretty significant as President Biden tries to win back some of that support. But because that young vote is so critical in states like battleground Wisconsin, even a small shift in that electorate could swing the election, Savannah.
So true, an important one. Gabe Gutierrez, great reporting. Thank you so much. Well, it is time now for some weather. Severe storms are threatening the south this morning. But you know what? I think we can call the eclipse forecast sort of a win in a lot of places, right? Michelle, I'm going to give you credit for some of that. Good morning.
Good morning, Savannah. I know, it was so awesome. In Doylestown, Pennsylvania, where I live, we had clouds right at that time. But it was still so fun, awesome to see all that and see everyone come together. Now, today we were watching severe storms. We watched them yesterday afternoon. We're going to watch them again tomorrow into Thursday. So this is a multi-day event. We're talking the chance of tornadoes tornadoes, also really large hail once again, and heavy, heavy rain that's going to lead to some flooding. You can see heavy rain even at this hour. I've been tracking this since 1 a.m. and it's pretty much looked like this, where you see those darker colors, the reds, the oranges, the yellows. That's where we're looking at the heaviest rain falling. So from Texas all the way across the southeast, you see some lightning too. We're hearing some thunder, and we are looking at the threat of severe weather as we go throughout today. 22 million people at risk for really large hail, softball-sized hail. Once again, strong tornadoes and winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour. Now, that could bring down some power lines, some power trees, leading to power outages. Where you see the yellows and the oranges, that's where we're seeing the likeliest chance for seeing some of those strong storms. So places like Dallas, San Angelo, San Antonio, Houston, over to Alexandria, also Waco, could see some pretty gusty thunderstorms this afternoon into the evening hours. Lots of rain, too. You saw that on radar. 8 million people impacted by flood watches. We're not looking at flood warnings at this hour right now, but we're going to see them pop in throughout the day. And I saw them earlier this morning, too, in Shreveport, Monroe, and also Tyler. So certainly we could see more flash flood warnings throughout the afternoon hours. This is why we're looking at a whole lot of rain from portions of Texas all the way up through the Ohio Valley. This is all going to move to the east. It's a very slow-moving system with a cold front, with that rain along the cold front. So locally up to 8 inches of rain. We could see that little plus next to it. We could see locally higher amounts as well. So there's that cold front. We're looking at rounds of heavy rain. Severe storms are expected. Then by tomorrow, we're looking at that low pressure system moving across Texas, and then a significant tornado outbreak is possible. That is something we're going to watch very, very closely on Wednesday, and they could be powerful tornadoes tomorrow. So by Thursday, still looking at the threat for severe storms from Ohio to Florida. Also risk of flooding from east of the Appalachians. So lots of rain over the next few days. For Wednesday, we're looking at 16 million people at risk. Where you see that red there, this is where we're talking about the chance of a tornado outbreak. Again, some could be very, very strong. We're looking at red. That's moderate. That's the highest level when you're looking at the threat for severe storms. We also have that orange and yellow. So Texarkana, Lufkin, over to Panama City could also see some strong storms. We're looking at hail too, but that's not the biggest threat. Then by Thursday, 26 million people at risk for severe storms. So again, as I mentioned, this is a multi-day event. We're looking at portions of Central Florida all the way up to parts of the Northeast. That includes D.C., also Raleigh, Wilmington, looking at the threat for some severe storms. So we're going to keep our eyes open. But if you live in Texas, the Gulf Coast states, you want to keep your tornado plan in place today and then also tomorrow.
Important safety reminder. Michelle Grossman, thank you so much. See you in a little bit.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.